Well, hello. Welcome to Madam WhipAss Reads. Shout out to a YouTube buddy of mine. You know who you are for sending me this information. Well, media takeout news has reported yesterday that R. Kelly's underage victim wrote a graphic tell-all book, and they posted the link to her online book, and it's called Sex Me, Confessions of Daddy's Little Freak, a past you can't escape. Daddy's Girl. So, one of the young women who claims R. Kelly used her as a sex slave has written a tell-all book. The young woman who wrote the book under a fake name described in detail her relationship with R. Kelly, and some readers are calling the relationship consensual. They're also suggesting that the young lady was finessed into getting into a freak relationship. Young lady claims that she was 16 years old when she met R. Kelly, and they quickly entered into a sexual relationship. She claims that she fell in love with the R&B singer. But the young lady goes into graphic details about their encounters in a way that many feels glamorized the relationship. All in all, the book describes a very inappropriate relationship between a young woman and R. Kelly. Here's what she wrote in the prelude. Well, you know what? I'll skip that part because I'm about to read the prelude for you. The book is currently being offered online for free, and you can read it here. So if you go to Media Takeout, there is a link to the entire book, which I have right here in front of me. And because I know niggas don't like to read, I decided I'm going to read this whole book for you. Now, it's going to be broken up in many parts. The book is about 95 pages long. I'm going to read every word that is written. Please understand this will not be your normal audio book, because although I will be reading every word that is written, I definitely will be pausing for my commentary and my opinion about some things. I've only thus far read what I just read from Media Takeout. I have not read a single line of this book, so all of this will be new to me, just as it is new to you. So please forgive me if I shall become shocked, dumbfounded, conflummoxed, or whatever as I read through this, because I'm sure it's going to be a doozy, or quite a few of them up in this piece. So again, I am doing this for all you niggas who don't like to read. Maybe your eyesight is bad, and maybe you're too busy to read a book. And maybe you just prefer to have somebody read it to you. Well, that'll be me. This ought to be interesting and fun, I think. I can only imagine what this child has written here. Wow. I, you know, I don't like what I just read in terms of from the Media Takeout excerpt, where it stated like she's kind of glamorizing the relationship. I don't know. We shall see. But I shall read this thing as passionately as I know how. And I hope you enjoy it. I don't know at what point I will stop. I will stop at whatever point I need to stop. And I will pick up with a part 2 over the next couple of days. Ooh-wee. Here we go. Sex Me. Confessions of Daddy's Little Freak. Daddy's Girl. To Daddy, the man who taught me that everything you desire isn't always what you need, and every I love you shouldn't cause you pain. You know what you did to me. Now they will too. Here are the contents. The contents, the chapters of this book read like a R. Kelly CD. Open letter, prelude, warning, genius, it's on, fiesta, your body's calling, seems like you're ready, make you my baby, McDonald's, showdown, car sex on the south side, far more, be careful, dedicated, don't you say no, Loveland, let's be real now, down low, I can't sleep if I barely breathing. I don't mean it. Half on a baby. Baby, 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 baby. Come to daddy. When a woman's fed up. I wish. Heaven, I need a hug. If I could turn back the hands of time, my apologies. Open letter. Daddy, I can't speak for the motives of others, but you know I love you. Through the good, bad, and indifferent. You know I'd never intentionally try to deceive or hurt you. My greatest fear is you hearing about this and feeling as if you never meant anything to me. My greatest fear is you thinking everything we've shared was bullshit. But no matter where we stand, your feelings still matter to me. I want you to understand I left because I had to. Because I also want you to know that as long as you are breathing, I'll never stop believing in your ability to get better. I will never give up on believing in you. But I had to love me enough to choose me. I think the problem with a lot of them is they were only ever in it for your image. And I must admit, initially, he's the only you I knew. So I was too. However, somewhere along the lines, I fell in love with the man, the real you. And that man needs aid beyond what I'm able to provide. That man is broken beyond what I can fix. My telling this story is ultimately a part of my healing. It makes me feel good to know that there may be someone out there who can relate to my feelings and experiences, understand our struggle, and make better decisions because of it. Yet, I apologize in advance if you ever receive any backlash as a result of this, because God knows I've tried my hardest to protect the both of us in this. Love you always. Daddy's Girl. Prelude. Sometimes I wonder if everything that happened was my fault. I was undeniably obsessed with him. Since the age of 4, I remember watching him on BET, singing along to songs, cutting his pictures out of Word Up and Right On magazines, and taping them to my pillow at night. Yes, y'all, read it right. I was a little local about him, but he was my crush, one I never rid myself of, and one, even to this day, I can't rid my mind, soul, or body of. It was his. It is his. I still smell his scent. I still hear his voice, his footsteps. I still feel his body on top of mine. I wake up in cold sweats from dreams about him, the pleasure, the terror, I may never understand how I can still be in love with the very thing that brought me so much pain, be pissed whenever I hear others speak ill of his name, yet have moments of disgust all at the same time. Picture admiring, crushing, and lusting over a man for over a decade, and then finally meeting him, sleeping with him, living with him, and meeting all of his personalities: the lover, the jokester, the genius, the innocent child, the abused, scared child, the insecure, resentful man, the demon, the freak. Roll them all into one, and there you have your man. This was the man I idolized. He was no cakewalk. There was so much pain behind the talent, the smile, the front. There was so much that nobody knew. I knew, though. I knew firsthand, and as I tell this story, I'm trembling from the very thought of betraying him. This man who has done so much for me, this man who welcomed me into his home, into his life, into his mind and his heart. But if people are going to tell this story, then someone has got to tell it right. Both his wrongs and theirs, and I'm not afraid to be the one. First things first, I'm no fucking victim and I'm no angel. I refuse to define myself as this hopeless woman who was brainwashed, detained, and violated. I'm a realist, and if I'm real with anyone, I'm real with myself. I own up to my part in this. I hunted him like he was my prey. Singing along to his songs and watching him on television wasn't good enough, nor were live shows. I wanted him. I wanted him bad, and I didn't care what came with him or who for that matter. I lusted for him. To keep it real, every thought I had of him prior to our meet was sexual. Truth be told, I looked at him as a piece of meat, one I wanted to suck completely off the bone, devour, lick my fingers, and repeat. I deemed myself his sex slave in my mind long before I ever met him. I'm sure we all did. Speak for yourself, bitch. Whether we're all willing to admit it or not, I heard the rumors. I'd even seen the tape, but none of that mattered. I was determined to meet him, and I was determined to be with him. We really should be careful for what we ask for. Warning. I am unapologetically blunt. I don't cut corners. I don't censor shit. The language used in this book is extremely descriptive and explicit. So if you were looking for the holy version, this ain't it. Genius. I remember the first time I saw him in person. He was playing ball on the south side. He was so tall and handsome, surrounded by a crowd of local fans screaming his name. The girls were touching all over him. They didn't even care that he was pouring sweat. I truly never understood the logic of this behavior. I was a diehard and all, but I could never see myself acting a fool and crying when meeting him, pushing through a crowd to be seen by him. Wasn't my style at all. So I left my friends right there as they joined the groupie antics and walked home. One day I was sitting on my older cousin's Keisha's porch getting my hair done, and I told her I wanted to meet him. Keisha had bagged plenty of ball players and rappers, and she never appeared to be a groupie or thirsty. They chased her and had no clue they were prey from day one. That's the kind of energy I wanted. I needed her to help me do the same with Daddy. She said herself he wasn't hard to find. He was always hanging out at the local McDonald's, playing ball somewhere or posted. And this I knew, but he was also always surrounded by a million people too. I remember she asked me why I'd want to meet him so bad. I want to fuck him, duh. We both died laughing. And after a blunt or two and a few shots, we decided we were going to try and get front row tickets to his next concert and VIP passes for the after party. It sounded like a good plan, but those tickets sold out every year quicker than you can blink. So I was anxious to see if she could do better than me with grabbing them before they sold out. And I'll be damned if 3 weeks later Keisha wasn't calling me saying she had the tickets. It's on. It was about damn time. Year after fucking year, front row tickets were always sold out, but I finally grabbed mine thanks to my cousin. Hold the other bitches. Wasn't gonna be a girls' night out type of vibe this time. I ain't give a fuck how my friends felt at this point. I was going, and I was going with my cousin. I had no time for their ridicule or groupie antics, because when that weekend hit, I'd be entering that arena with a purpose and on a mission. If things went my way, he'd hop directly off that stage and into this coochie. She said the P word, but I just wanted to feel him with an arena filled with thousands of dehydrated ass bitches. I needed to focus. I had 2 weeks. That was 2 weeks to find something extra fly that no other bitch would be rocking. 2 weeks to fast and kill this body in the gym. And 2 weeks to strategically plan my approach. Because when I shot this shot at daddy, baby, I was not going to miss. And with this undisputed tunnel vision began what feels like a never-ending roller coaster ride. In the blink of an eye, 2 weeks had passed, but it seemed like the evening of that fucking concert took forever. I was ready though. Me and Keisha had been talking and going over possible scenarios all week. I knew just what to say and how to approach shit. I had the right fit, the right heels, my hair was slayed, and my mindset was unfuckwittable. The next day seemed to drag forever. I was so anxious I couldn't stand it. Local radio stations had been playing his music all day, everything old and new, and all I could think about was my fine ass and his radar on that front row. It always took us forever to get ready, so we started early. Y'all know how it is, the long ass bubble bath, dancing in the mirror. I wasn't big on makeup, but Keisha just had to beat this face to the gods. And we spent forever checking ourselves out from every angle in the mirror and taking pics. Maybe that was just our thing. Hell, I don't know. But me, myself, I had a long ass pep talk in the mirror before going to fuck a nigga life up and turn all them heads. I was a must for a girl. It was a must for a girl like me. And 4 hours later, there I stood. 5'2", 32, 24, 38, breast sitting pretty, ass sitting right, dress painted on, and pussy juicy enough to feed a homeless tribe in the Congo. Bitch, I was fine. Fiesta. We was fly as fuck and we knew it. Nothing else on the front row came close. The show was amazing, and shades or no shades, he was checking for me. He was singing all in me and Keisha's direction. I was just hoping I was more of his type than Keisha. I sang every song word for word. Those other hoes did the most screaming and crying, trying to drag me off stage, seemed like. I just kept it cute, singing along, dancing all sensual, and feeling myself, a vibe. I didn't know how to be as extra as those other hoes, so I did me, and for what I could see, he liked it. So we left a little early. Now you see me, now you don't vibe. We had VIP tickets for the after party, so I knew he'd see me again shortly, but we made our presence felt, and that was definitely a must. Flash forward, he stared at me from across the VIP. There I stood, moist and motionless. I could feel the warmth between my legs. Ugh. Keisha was dancing with some dude, and I had been rejecting niggas all night while I watched as he traced my body with his eyes. Shortly after, a guy tapped me on the shoulder and invited me over. I respectfully declined. I know y'all thinking, bitch, are you crazy? Why decline when you know you want him? But trust me, I had it all under control. A man like that isn't used to rejection, and he's not going to take no for an answer. The next time we made eye contact, he signaled for me to come over. I shook my head and signaled for him to come to me. He took a shot of some brown, poured himself a full drink, and from the looks of it, he was, oh my God, this was it. He was walking over. I'm thinking, fuck, bitch, get it together. You following me? He leaned in and said. Should I be? I snapped back sarcastically. A few seconds of silence passed and we both laughed. I like that. You got a slick little mouth. It's cute. Then he finished off his drink, leaned in closer, and with his body pressed against mine, he whispered, now I'm going to ask you again. You following Daddy? The sound of his voice and the heat from our bodies touched alone sent a couple of thoughts to my mind, tingles down my spine, and this coochie into overdrive. All I could do was keep my cool, stare his ass dead back in the eye, and ask, so you my daddy now? I could never forget the look in his eye when he ran his fingers slowly over my lips and told me that he would be. I swear I played it cool, even though I was doing cartwheels inside. I managed to play it cool. He asked if Keisha was my sister. I told him no, she was my cousin. He asked if I can get away from her because he needed to see me after. I smirked and I told him I might be able to work something out. He slipped me the number and told me to text him with a sexy pic and my name. Took me less than 30 seconds and I said done as I walked away. He texted me after and said, good girl. I was so fucking excited. I quickly grabbed Keisha and headed for the door. Mission accomplished, bitch. Let's roll. She was like, damn, bitch, that was quick. I was quiet all the way till we got in the car and then started screaming like a real live groupie. I'll never forget how nervous I was. I was like, damn. So do I go see him? Do I make him wait? I didn't know what the fuck to do. Keisha was like, make him wait. I couldn't believe she said that. But she said it'll drive him crazy. Just do what I say and make him wait. So I followed Keisha's lead and told him I couldn't do it tonight. He called almost as soon as I sent that text. I let it ring a few times and answered. I remember him asking where I went and why I couldn't meet him. I simply responded, it was getting late and I had an early rise. He said, I'm not worth one night. And I said, if I'm worth it, there'll be another night. He seemed intrigued. Okay, baby girl, but do me a favor. Always call me daddy. Your body's calling. He smelled so good. He looked so good, and his voice brought me to my knees. I loved the way he looked at me, loved the way he said my name, and when he touched me, I trembled a little. A week had passed before we linked up again. I was unavailable for the first two original dates he suggested, but it was finally our time. Believe it or not, we met up at the park. We walked around and ended up chilling on a park bench as he interviewed me. How old are you, baby girl? I told him I was 20. Then a million other questions followed. He wanted to know if I had any musical talents, which I did. I told him I've been singing ever since I was 3 and sang in the choir at church. Plus, I was a dancer. I had been in ballet since the age of 5, but choreographed to hip-hop and R&B songs as a hobby. His eyes grew wide with excitement. He instantly wanted to hear something, so I sang Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. My vocals were super strong for that track, but I don't know. For some reason, it was the first thing that popped in mind. And before I could finish, he grabbed me and kissed me. And I was seriously in shock, but I didn't fight it. I went with it. The way he kissed made you want more. It made my body weak. And the way he looked at me after, I knew he could tell. He had me right where he wanted me. But I quickly gathered myself and asked what he thought. He seemed excited. He was like, so what we doing? I've been wanting a protege. I could really take your career to the next level. But I was sure to let him know I'm just a low-key chick. I didn't think fame was for me. Still don't. I told him I could help behind the scenes with writing and choreography, but I just wanted to be a good woman to an extraordinary man. Daddy definitely seemed to like that. He asked me about family, and I told him it was really just me and my grandmother. And I had a few aunts and cousins, but that was it. No kids, no man, and undecided on my career path. That day led to one of my many over the next few months. Seems like you're ready. He was so fine. I loved having to tippy-toe to hug him. I loved how good it felt being in his big, strong arms. I loved everything about him so much that I felt guilty about not being 100% honest with him. But every time I built up the courage to tell him, someone would walk in or he'd say something that would just throw me off. I was scared if he found out he wouldn't want to talk to me anymore, and I really liked him. I didn't want what we were building to stop, but my conscience said being honest was the right thing to do. So one day, when it was just him and I in the studio, which was rare, I said, Daddy, I need to talk to you. I'm not sure if it was my facial expression or tone that bothered him, but he looked very concerned and told me to come sit on his lap. I began to stutter a little. I began to stutter a little when I told him it was important. So he pulled me close on his lap and told me to get it off my chest. You know you could talk to Daddy, right? I nodded yes and spit it out quickly. I'm only 16. Yes, y'all, I was grown as hell, I know, but only 16. He grabbed my chin gently and lifted my head. He told me to look at him and talk to him like a big girl. I just started to cry and told him I was 16, and if he didn't want to talk to me anymore, I understood. And he leaned back on the couch for a second, put both of his arms behind his head, and then he laughed. He asked if this was what I had been so scared to tell him, and I said yes. That's when he leaned up and kissed me. He looked at me square in the eye and told me there was nothing I could tell him about me that he didn't already know, and we were good. He told me I had nothing to worry about, but he did go on to say that Daddy could get into a lot of trouble just for dealing with me, and that he's putting a lot on the line, but he's willing to do it because he really liked me. Me being young and clueless at the time, that meant everything to me. I really thought I was special. If anybody asks, tell them you're 19 and act 21. Act 21? How the hell I was supposed to do that? I didn't want to sound dumb and ask, but I think the dumbfounded look on my face forced him to explain. I never been good at hiding facial expressions, especially back then. Daddy explained that acting 21 just meant being confident, unbothered, and listening more than I spoke. Acting 21 means knowing what happens between you and Daddy stays between you and Daddy. When you're grown, you keep your business to yourself. You don't need to tell anybody about what we do or how we do it. You understand? Acting 21 means your focus is on your man and not what's in these streets, on that cell phone or with your little friends. You got a boyfriend now. So I'm your business and your focus. You understand? And acting 21 means it's time for you to start doing some grown things. You want to please your man, right? You want to keep Daddy happy? My answer was yes to everything he asked. I did want to keep him happy. I wanted to appear mature to him more than anything, especially now that he knew my age. I didn't want him thinking I couldn't handle the situation. So how do I please you? How do I do grown things? He smiled and laughed like he had been dying for me to ask that question. He told me to stand up. Now take off your clothes. My clothes? Your clothes. All of them. Come on. I remember having on this cute strapless jean dress and some wedges. I began to zip my dress down and he stopped me and told me to unzip it slower, so I did. And when my titties popped out, so did his dick. I feel like I am just too grown to be reading this stuff. But here it goes. He started breathing hard and touching himself, and he told me to keep my shoes on and leave my black panties on. I did as I was told. Next, he told me to walk around real sexy like I was modeling for him. I really wanted to make a good impression on Daddy, so I did as I was told and pranced around in my panties and wedges while he jerked off. I feel like I'm reading child porn. You know what? I'm going to take a break. Let me go to the chat to see if anybody is in the chat. Um, um, this is getting too deep right now. Let me go to the chat. I'm coming to the chat. I don't know if it's somebody's in the chat. Give me time. I just need to pause, y'all. Sorry to all you niggas who don't like to read. Let me check the temperature and see what people think so far. Ooh wee. What y'all think? Do y'all think I should continue reading? Hey, Raz. You had to come here instead of reading yourself, Mama Sita. Should I continue on with this? Because I almost feel like I'm reading child porn. Good grief. Y'all let me know. Good Lord. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to take some breaks from time to time. I don't know if I should stop at this point and continue in part 2. Who knows when that'll be. But, whoo-wee. Okay. Mama Cedar said, I don't know, maybe not. Well, you know what? I'll stop it right here. If I get 15 likes and people commenting in the comment section telling me to continue to read this, I shall oblige. And if not, then I guess I shouldn't. Because this is child porn. If you ask me, she's 16. I don't know. I don't know. It was all in detail. So this is like reading. Oh, Lord. Oh, you said I didn't know it was all in detail. You know what? You know what? Let me take a break and think about this. Maybe I should read ahead. Then again, no. Maybe I shouldn't read ahead. Just keep the way it's been going. 9 people watching. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Okay. All right. I guess I'll continue. Okay. Let me go back. Where was I? Dance for me, baby. Yeah, just like that. I rolled and slow wind. I rubbed and touched on my body, and then I walked up to him and put my leg up next to him. So I was standing with my coochie print on his chin. And with the sexiest voice I can fathom at 16, I sassed him and asked him when he was going to stop looking and touch. Lord, why did I ever say that? He quickly raised his eyebrow and took off his shades. He rubbed his nose across the lace rested on my crouch, slid them to the side, and went to um you know yeah, I'm just, you know what, this is the wrong time for me to be reading this stuff. You know that I just can't go through it. Maybe I can in a few days. You know, I just lost my sister yesterday. It's just too much going on right now. I just can't. I can't do it right now. I I just can't do it right now. It's I just don't know what to say. Mm, this book is deep. Excuse the pun. So far, and I would like to continue and read it all, but I just can't. Y'all gonna have to wait a few days for part two. I just need to get through what I need to get through. I mean, I, I've been trying to do things to escape from what, my grief, but this ain't what I want to escape with. I need to escape with something more constructive, not this. I need to just get through these next few days, and after things are over with, then I can come back and do part two and read it. I just can't go there right now with it. But listen, I'm feeling conflummoxed, and I'm just an emotional wreck, really, at this point in time. I want to get through this whole book. I don't know if I really can't go through reading this graphic sexual detail, or is it because, I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm so sorry for rambling, y'all. Let me just go back to the chat before I sign out, because this is, yeah, you know what it is? I guess I wouldn't mind reading it, but this is R. Kelly. Ew, sleazy R. Kelly to me. That's why. I mean, um, if it was who, I can't even think of who. But if it was somebody else, I probably can go through. But this is, I'm feeling too many different things all at once. I feel like I want to go take a shower, not a hot shower or a cold shower, a shower, because I just feel dirty. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see in a few days. Thank you, Mama Sita. We'll see in a few days. But yeah, hit the like button, and we'll see in a few days. Thank you all for tuning in. It's just a bit too much for me. I wasn't expecting all of this. But yeah, I can see why somebody or people feel she is glamorizing the relationship. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm speechless, as you can see. Jesus Christ. All right. All right. That's enough for you. All right. Thank you all again. Knock it off. And y'all go on and have a great day. Peace. Stay tuned for part 2.